Well, you and I are connected again here via Tukuriada, the channel, the athletics channel that speaks sports, speaks life, and gives a voice to those who are voiceless, seeking to even up the playing field of the universe. Am I really doing that? I hope I'm accomplishing it with my subscribers. Thank you very much for being out there. Keep doing the subscribing business, recruiting business, making this community of True Korea donors grow in numbers. Because in numbers, we can affect some changes in how we communicate. I'm into communication, conversations, empowering, enlarging our horizons because we know little. We know so little. The more you learn, the more you realize you know so little, even in athletics. Because today, Sha Carri Richardson is speaking to me, and I want to share with you what she said in a podcast that she attended with the legends. The sisters hosted Sha Carri in a podcast that I think she revealed a lot about herself that we don't know, and for those who are in athletics, we care to know. Yeah, Sha Carri was speaking and she spoke very well. She was comfortable. And even to realize that Sha Carri has 4.1 million Instagram followers. Trust me, she's a powerhouse. Whether we see her in that grace or we see her as a villain, a star, a gold medalist, world champion, the star of the stars among track and field, who is who, she's still a powerhouse. We have to respect that. And as the followers of athletics, we listen to people like her and what they think, what they are doing, and we're always interested. I'm not into gossip, but I'm into being enlightened about people. Because when people speak vulnerably, we have to respect that. And so, yeah, she was hosted by a podcast, like I said, of the tennis legends, Serena Williams and her sister Venus. The podcast here, what's the name of the podcast? Let me see something here. Where is this? Let me see whether I can catch the podcast. It's something. It was in Athlos. I think Serena Williams and her sister attended the Orihan, and I think Serena Williams, of course, husband is the sponsor or the one who inaugurated this female athletes only event in New York. And we've gone through that with you guys before. But I'm trying to figure out the podcast here that she spoke. Anyway, I'll come to that at a certain point. But it's known as Stockton Street Podcast, where Venus, I said, the sisters were hosting, and the conversation kind of got candid, unmasking, uncovering, revealing a lot. There's something she said here that I was going to just have a moment here to reflect on, which is that she made this quote and a statement that was very bold. I think she's being vulnerable here when she says that, quote, by this is Sha Carri. She says, if you don't have haters, something is missing. What do you think of that statement? If you don't have people who hate you, you are not really doing much. You are pretty much under the water, under the radar. You are not accomplishing a lot. So what she's saying is that the higher risk you take, the more attention you might get. It might be good, bad, and ugly, depending on who is looking at you. And I think she's very philosophical with that statement. But with that statement comes to how we've seen her, how she came in the limelight. If we remember correctly, it was post-COVID. Sha Carri Richardson comes into the Olympics trials. She's banned for a substance that the Olympic Committee and the athletic fraternity thought that she didn't belong. My opinion was that I think they overstepped. But within the jurisdiction and the rules that govern athletics, yes, I understand that. But I think there's the problem with being an African American woman and being busted for what some people are stamped as something, what is this, illicit drug, which is legal in many states, including the one I'm in. I think people have never forgiven her for that, because let's not forget the skin color and what people associate with that skin color to begin with. They are always either they're thugs, they're villains, they're into drugs. Yet the world has consumed that as recreational and medicinal. Anyway, so she comes to us as that. And so when she makes these statements about if you don't have haters, something is missing, I think she's speaking to who she is. And I respect that, because she's had a long journey in athletics. She's a world champion for Budapest 2023. And if you remember correctly, how she made a bold statement in that event and even the trials. And she spoke. There's some things that I want to share here that were very insightful. They told us more about her than we thought we knew. At a certain point in 2023 this is where her career seems to take off in track and field. But at that point, she says that as the camera focused on her, you remember that she had this red wig on her, and she grabbed it and tossed it off. And to her, that was the beginning. She was really making a statement. She continues to make a very interesting observation on that that was interesting to my reading and understanding of her. In other words, she has taken a villain, how people see her as a villain, or people have, you'll always have haters if you are successful. And if you are not, you are mediocre, people don't even pay attention. And I think our success has come with a baggage. Like I say, Instagram, 4.1 million followers. That means you are public. And with publicity comes responsibility and protecting that image. And the Seattle incident, the fracas with her husband, not her partner, Christian Coleman, there you go. The police got excited. The public got excited. They want to know. The same villain that they say she was using weed, what is she up to this time? Why is she violent? Again, people amplify, exacerbate the situation, as if you haven't seen, you can cast the first stone. So there goes the Nazarene. So I think for her, if you look at her accomplishments, for me, I think at her age, she's not even 30 yet, and yet she's a world champion, finalist in the Olympics after having a tough season. And here we are talking about her in this podcast. She says she uses the haters or whatever that motivation. She says, I use it as a motivation. I've gotten to a point where if you don't have haters, something is missing. So she continues. She says she channels her criticism, her expose to inspire her. And then it creates confidence, because I think some of us who are just passively going through life, with nothing really triggering us to, extend ourselves. Maybe we don't see this, but people have accomplished what she's done in the way she's done it. I can hear a conversation. I do. I think one of the things that we don't understand is people who have achieved a lot. How do they navigate the world? If you're a star, we who are not stars, the only thing we focus sometimes is not even their success. We want to dramatize their fall. And I think she's speaking from a point of what she's gone through. She said, I feel like people like to mistake our confidence as cockiness. She continues, it gets down to those moments where, why am I having these things? What is that? I don't know what's going on my screen. It's some screen. Anyway, she talks of when people see sprinters, jumping before the starting of the race, Noah Lyles or her just, getting into our focus. People think they are being cocky. And I think I've talked about in one of my episodes where I'm thinking sprinters feel that the world evolves around them. They feel like the sun rises from their buttholes. Sometimes they have that arrogance. But with what they do and the attention they get, they use that, they fuel that energy and channel it to propel them to where they've gone. And I think she's speaking here from that point of understanding herself. And let's not forget, they are human beings after all. And whatever it takes to be focused and to be disciplined, to train and win, that's all that matters to her to begin with. And I think what 2023, if I remember correctly, which I do, the trials and the throwing away of the red wig and staying natural, organic, and racing and winning in 10.84 in Eugene was, this is what she says about it. She said it was a transformational moment. It was a moment whereby she unmasked, she took all the masks that she was carrying maybe that people didn't know. She continued, it was me, my representation of a transformation in front of the world. I was just like, this is me. I'm back. No, I'm not back because it's still me, but I'm better. Go, good, go, girl. She's speaking like a philosopher. She's learned herself. She's comfortable under her skin. And good for her to go to this podcast with the legend Serena and speak her mind. And I'm looking forward to her career really propelling her at the next level. Remember, LA is coming up 2028. She stays healthy, stay focused. She trains the right people, surround herself with wonderful people. Speak to the sisters that she spoke to. And there's one thing she says here that is quite something that she's expanding on her thoughts. Sha Carri Richardson explained that her self-belief is a necessary tool for survival in the high-stakes world of elite sports. It gets down to those moments where it's not the crowd, it's not your coach, it's just you by yourself. Sports can be very lonely. Racing can be very lonely. The coach is sitting there, no control. Your mom could be sitting there, your wife, your partner. The whole world is quiet. You and you, Sha Carri, or wherever it is, you are the one going to do whatever that thing is. And the finish line is waiting for you. Are you going to be the first one to get there? It's all under your control. Have you trained well? She continues. Who is going to pour into you? It has to be you that feeds you the same way that's your biggest critic. She's 25 and she just gets me excited about her. Well, she was in the right company and she's from Dallas, I find out. And here she concludes by saying that there's never, oh, that is somebody else. I almost went to another delving. And then she continues that, it's her. She says here something. There's never a finish line. It's ironic. It's ironic me saying that. There's no finish line. I just gave her the finish line. She didn't want it. She wants to keep running. When you win, have you noticed people win 100 meters? They never stop at the finish line. Exactly what she's saying here. Particularly for us, being in front of the world when it comes to our lives, we have to be very mindful of what state of mind we are in. Wow. Well, she continues to talk of her mental health. She's navigating as she goes to say, I'm learning that life is forever a roller coaster, but still the best ride to be on. Yes, indeed, Sha Carri Richardson in front of Serena and Venus in the podcast that they did, and she revealed something that we, the fans, like to hear more about. Mental health, well-being, roller coasters of life, and taking the haters and using it as a fuel. Think about it. They take our garbage here and they go recycle it and fuel the garbage trucks that come to us. Yeah, that's the world we live in. Take the haters, take the garbage, make it, brings the right energy, and keep running. Sha Carri Richardson. I like that. I like that. Channel your life into the podium. When you're standing there and the national anthem is being sung, you've accomplished what you want. What do you think, Sha Carri? What do you think of Sha Carri? She's great, isn't she? Whether we see her or not, It's not about the character sometimes. We all have malfeasance. We all have defects in our character, my friend. Look at the beauty of humanity. Sha Carri Richardson in front of Venus Serena in a podcast, sharing our inside mind and soul. Appreciate that. Talk to you later, my friend. Keep liking. Like this one. Subscribe to that one. Let's keep talking. That's me. Talk to you later on the other side of the pillow to Korea, my friend.